Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Got a new object here, just kind of built it, well at least built the box. Inside it though is a 3D printer. I'm trying to figure out, see how it works, see if I can get it to print things. So far, I've been kind of learning and have been getting things that aren't quite finishing, or I forgot to put supports in, so they're only partially done. I got a few things to actually print, but anyway, this video, I did a video a little while back about depression and anxiety and basically how I look to deal with it. And it was something that took me a little bit to get out, something that took me a while to say, and then unfortunately the video was not any good. So, as it would have it, unfortunately I got to go through my process again. So let me go ahead here and go over these things with you. So I do suffer from some depression, from some anxiety. Unfortunately, I think a lot of us do, and a lot of us just don't realize it, and or a lot of us don't know how to deal with it, or have our own processes on how to deal with it. Anyway, a lot of the things that I've done have actually brought the depression onto me, and this is something that I use to deal with it. It might be kind of anxiety too, because it's a process that I have arguments with myself, thinking someone else is there, or not necessarily thinking someone else. Anyway, let me go ahead and kind of explain my process to you, and you'll kind of understand what I'm getting at and what I mean by that. So basically what I do is when I think I feel myself either slipping into depression, or when I think that I am slipping into something that is not actually there, something that like someone says something to me and my interpretation of how they said it is something that's not necessarily true, and so I take it negatively, and they necessarily weren't meaning to make it negative. And so basically when I run into those situations, whether it be what's been coming up kind of with the gun debate, and with kids and adults and things like that going at each other, and not actually stepping back and coming up with any actual answers, but coming up with more and more of the problems. So this is what I do so that I'm able to get along with more people, talk with more people, and possibly be able to find more common ground, and to come off as a happy person, hopefully, to most people that see me, most people that know me. So anyway, this is how I do it. So basically, what I do when I find myself slipping back into these depressions, or these stress attacks, these anxiety attacks, I first, what I do is I stop, and I have to count to 10. Now, depending on what it is, sometimes, I mean, it's a really, really slow and laborious 10, but sometimes it's a quick 10. So basically what I'm doing during this time is I'm stopping the reaction, pulling back, and I'm saying, okay, 1, 2, this isn't really what happening. 3, 4, I shouldn't be angry right now. Stop, listen, let's continue on with this. 5, 6, I can be positive about this. 7, 8, 9, 10. Basically what I'm doing is I'm stopping that reaction. Instead of beating up, instead of attacking, instead of, basically what I'm doing is I'm stopping that initial reaction. And then I take that time, that 10 seconds, that count to 10, that however you want to put that. I take that time to concentrate on relaxing me, whether it's my fight or flight that kicked off, that I have to stop and go, okay, heart, stop, let's count to 10, or whatever the situation is. I stop. I count to 10. And I mean, sometimes, even depending on where I am, like I was saying, if I was in a vehicle and in my head I was I had this argument, or I was thinking, gee, when I'm going to get home, this is going to be wrong, and this is not going to be here, this is not going to work for me. Basically, sometimes in that situation, what I would do is I would actually say, stop it, out loud. It wouldn't be in my head that I'd say stop and then count to 10. I'd actually do it out loud. There's no wrong or right way. I do find that when I'm able to actually verbally say stop it and get mad at myself for the reaction, or say stop it, this is stupid, or something along those lines, I'm able to react differently, quicker, or at least clear my head to then do the next step. And basically what that is you have to find your smile. At least I call it your smile. Basically, you have to find that one moment, that one time that brings a smile, that brings, no matter what the situation, you feel happier thinking about it. You feel happier having that thought in your existence. And so basically, at that point, you're able, because you counted to 10, because you stopped the interaction, now you're able to go, because you can find that. Now, not everyone is going to have that same smile. And your smile can change. A birth of a kid could be a smile. Your marriage, your wife, maybe an achievement you had, maybe a goal that you had hit, maybe, I mean, the what your smile is determinant only on you. What your smile is not based on anything else but you. And you have to find it. You have to find that one reason that makes you want to push and strive and just build, and that much harder to make yourself better, or to make yourself move on. Whether it's something inside you that makes you that, or something that you're thinking about, hey, I feel this strongly about something that's happening in the future, and that's my smile. Basically, you find that. You find your smile. And then what you do is you build upon that. You take and you find your smile, and you find other tidbits, you find other break-offs, you find other things that once you find that smile, once you're in that happier place, you've got your other groups of conversations, other groups of thoughts that you then can bring forward, that you then can take that breath and be able to say, hey, you see all these things, or 1 or 2, 3, 4 things, whatever the amount. I've been happy those times. I've been able to find happiness during those times. So therefore, I must be able to find other happinesses, to be able to find other types of things that'll make me smile, or other types of things that will be good throughout my life. So therefore, I've got something that I've got to continue, got to push, got to keep going for. Then, once I've hit that situation, once I've found that point where I'm happier, I'm able to not have that weight on you, not to feel like the whole world is just on top of you and you're just going to fall over and nothing's going to get better. I'm able to then take and just push forward. I'm able to then stop and go, hey, now, that person, that object, that thing that I was angry at or that I felt was angry at me, was that real? Was that something that they were actually angry at me? Or maybe it's just someone that's blunt. Maybe it's someone that was having a piss poor day, and now they have to... They reacted this way because everything has been building up this day. And, gee, that person now wants me to tell them what to do, so I'm going to go tell them what to do. I mean, you don't know necessarily what everyone else is doing. Maybe because you're able to take these processes, take these steps, go through and say, hey, that person wasn't really angry at me. Let me continue to be happy so that I can then take the next steps. So you're able to then stop and maybe not react negatively to that person. And that person's going to go, whoa, wait a minute. I just yelled at him so that he would be angry as well because I'm angry. And he didn't react that way? I mean, you're able then to maybe make that person think just a little bit differently. Or maybe that person won't react the same to the next person. Or maybe, just maybe it's for you. It's for yourself. It's for you saying, hey, I don't have to react to someone based on what they think I'm going to react. I'm able to stop and choose my own reactions. Basically, once you've hit this point where, like I said, you've counted to 10, you've found your smile, you're now deciding to yourself, is this real or is this not? And choosing for yourself, how do I want to react? How do I want other people to see me react? Do I want to be the person that they're going to go, oh, I don't want to be around that person today? No. You want to be that person that other people want to be around you because you're happy. Because even though your viewpoints, your actions, your reactions are not what they would do, but you're able to then make that impression on them. And that's the whole thing. If you are able to recognize yourself being pulled off into this anxiety, this depression, this fight or flight, you can use it for anything in your life. And no, I'm not near not as perfect on this as I would like to be. But once you can start seeing yourself reacting how you do not want to react, stopping yourself, conditioning yourself then to react a different way, you're able to then take and go, that person yelled at me, I'm good. I can react to that person however I want because I realize that I'm my own person, that I'm my own reactionary base. I can realize that, for like instance today, my truck, it wouldn't start. I went to start it, there was no sound. I spent 30 minutes trying to get something to work. I had full battery power. All my wires were connected. It looked like it was in park. I couldn't rock it or shift it or anything. Nothing was loose. I was getting full power to the cigarette lighter. I could turn on the radio, the lights. Everything was working, including my inverter all the way in the back was saying I had full power. So I spent, like I said, over a half hour trying to find out maybe what's wrong with it so I could start trying to fix it. My brother came over. We borrowed my mom's truck, and we pulled my truck about 4 feet back so that I could have easier access to the front because I was up against a couple of tires in a bush. But in the process of doing this, we put the truck into neutral to pull it, and then put the truck back in park. And I went over and I wanted to mess with it to see if there was any sound now that it was shifted, and it started right up. It turns out that the gear selector in my truck is now a little bit loose, and so it wasn't quite, it was in park, but the selector did not recognize that it was in park, so it wasn't starting. So I had spent over like I said, a half hour trying to figure it out. And basically, it was like over an hour before I finally just started it without doing anything. And I could react and be horrible and be upset, and I just lost an hour worth of work, and I've got all these people calling me, and I don't know what to do. But I was able to stop and say, hey, you know, I've chosen already that my reaction to things is not going to be explosionary, not going to be reactionary. My reaction is going to be proactive, is going to be smile, is going to be, hey, this was a learning moment. Because I turned around today again, and I went up to an apartment that we're building, and the heat wasn't on. So I'm sitting there, I took apart the HVAC, the heating unit. I took it apart, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with it, why it's not working. I mean, it's getting power, it's igniting, the gas is hooked up, it was bled and it was working last night. So I'm sitting there, and probably 15, 20 minutes working on this. After working on my truck, now I'm working on something else, and the plumber comes in, and he goes, you aren't working on the heating unit, are you? We turned off the gas because we got to hook up all the water heaters. So there's something else that I had to take a breath and go 1, 2, 3, count my little thing out in my head because everyone was around me, and stopped and went, oh, gee, that's so silly. Why would I do that? Okay, well, I'm just going to put this back together and let me know when you turn on the gas, and I'll make sure that everything's working again. I was able to react that way instead of, well, it's cold out today and it might freeze, so you guys need to hurry up as quick as you can. Because, I could tell them that. I'm the guy in charge. But I was able to stop it. And because of how I reacted, they went through, and 90% of them, they turned on themselves. So, I mean, it's not... It may be for someone else. You initially might be doing it for someone else. But in the end, it's for yourself. It's for you to be able to recondition how you react. It's for you to do what's called self-hypnotism. It's for you to pull back, stop, count to 10, which is one of the processes of hypnotism, and be able to stop yourself and go, oh, smile, relax, happy, which is also another step of hypnotism. And then because you're in that state of mind, you're able to then, what's going on around me? What's real? What's not? I mean, I've even gone to the point where I had a piss poor day, was coming home, and on the way I was coming home, I'm like, I'm going to get home. The house is going to be a mess. I mean, heck, look behind me. I'm not even sitting on the couch because it's not clean this morning, or this evening, or this afternoon. So I could immediately, because of my piss poor day, be completely upset and be like, why is there garbage next to me? Why is the clothes over there? Why is there beanbag chair on top of my couch that I'm going to sit on, and I'm going to watch my TV so that I can relax? But I was able to stop, go, so I know I want to relax for a little bit, so I'm going to mess with my 3D printer. Or I'm going to go outside and I'm going to play fetch with my dog. Or I'm going to sit down for a minute and take a deep breath. Or I'm going to look at the sky, the stars, the something. And then be able to come back and be able to do it. Be able to come back and be able to work on cleaning, be able to smile, be able to turn around and say, hey, how was your day? And actually listen, actually be able to participate in the conversation instead of being the one that said, how was your day? By the way, my day was blah, 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 blah. Anyway, like I said, I'm not perfect at this. I don't count to 10 every time. I don't even tell myself to stop it every time. I find that it's a work in progress. It's just like if you go to AA. It's just like if you go to, anything else. You find yourself self-improving. And you find ways to self-improve. Or, like a lot of people say, you have to find your reason. Reason never seemed like a strong enough term to me. Finding your reason, my reason was because I want to get better. And it never felt like good enough, strong enough, something that would push me from day to day, because I'd slip back and I'd have another drink, or I'd slip back and I'd do something else, or basically my reason was not really a reason. So my reason, I changed that terminology to smile. I changed that terminology so that I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was stopping. I knew that I was changing my situation, my reaction. I knew I was finding my reasons, my smiles, to be able to move forward. What made me happy, that I had multiple happy moments, and that I was going to have multiple happy moments more. And I was able to then persevere forward. I'm able to then continue. I'm able to not let that consume me. And I'm able to smile. And that's my ultimate goal for everyone. Even if we go into a conversation where I am completely adamantly opposite of you, and I feel very, very different, I'm able to pull that off, be able to stop, find my smile, actually have that conversation, and be able to hear your other side, be able to hear you, be able to hear how you came to those thoughts, those ideas, those processes. Anyway, my ultimate goal is that hopefully you're able to pull something from this. Hopefully you're able to use this to find your smile, to find your reason, to be able to maybe not use the whole thing, maybe take something and tweak it. Every person is different. Every person reacts. It's just finding out how to change that reaction. How you want to be. Anyway, I hope that you're able to possibly get something from this. Leave comments down below. Maybe this is something that a different way that you've done in the past, or maybe you struggle with depression and you know of different ways to help. Maybe there's differences out there, which of course there is, and you want to voice your opinion. You want to scream or soundboard or whatever off someone. You can always also send me a personal message, and I will try to get to those and look at those as well and try to comment back as those. I do go through and read all my messages. I don't necessarily comment to all of the ones, but I do want to thank you guys very much for being out there, very much for listening, very much for being a part of my channel and being a part of my process of growing, of my process of moving forward, of my process of finding out who is Ben. And I want to thank you guys for this, and I want to say, have a wonderful, wonderful, and blessed day.